what is sustainable for me right now? And if it's not sustainable, we have to find something that is. It's not a crash course. It's not a fad thing. It will not happen overnight. We have to put some time into this, and we have to make sure that it's sustainable for you.
And it was so embarrassing. And it was so much feedback of how much I had let my life go off the rails. Don't let that happen. Look at the photos along the way and make the adjustments along the way. And I promise you, your future will be brighter.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, weekly live NLU podcast. For week number 100, we have crossed yet another milestone. Tonight, we will be talking about dialing in your fitness habits. So as you know, we talk about life, love, health, and wealth. Tonight, we want to talk about health because that's something we used to talk about a lot, and we don't talk about nearly as much now because we've transitioned more into business and entrepreneurship. But one thing that you will notice if you keep an eye on this is oftentimes when people become more successful financially or in business, sometimes their bodies and their well-being and their health kind of go down. So we want to avoid that and help you avoid that as well.
The very first thing to understand on this one is that if you don't have your health, nothing else matters. So it's health, wealth, and love in that order. Because if you don't have your health and you don't have enough financial security to at least have shelter, you're not going to be able to fall in love. So it's in that order on purpose, and health is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Today we're going to talk primarily about fitness, physical health, physical well-being. I have a flashcard in my pocket that says there's someone in a hospital bed right now who's begging God for the opportunity that you have to make a difference. And I try very, very hard not to ever lose sight of the physical abundance that I live in each and every day. And again, this is about fitness habits. So at the end of the day, you are what you do, and you are what you choose not to do as well. And so, you know, the idea to have good health and good fitness is having good habits.
So my first point, I really want to drive home. And Alan and I, as you know, heart-driven, but no BS. Heart-driven, but no BS. Everything we say tonight has the goal to help you. And Alan and I have been into fitness myself since I was 16, so 16 years, going on 17 years. Alan for a long time. Alan was a fitness coach for a long time. I was a personal trainer back in the day. So it's something that we have studied for a long period of time, and we have practiced for a long period of time. And that is the reason we have the results we do. Okay, simple question. What does the Atkins diet, keto, Weight Watchers, Whole30, Paleo, Jenny Craig, all of those things have in common? They are something that keeps track of calories. So the reason a Weight Watchers diet works, it's not because Weight Watchers is anything special. It's not because a Slim Fast shake, for those of you who remember Slim Fast shakes, are anything special. All they are a controlled portion of calories. So I've said this in the past. I could quite literally create the Kevin Palmieri weight loss system and make sure that you're eating less calories than you were before, and you would have some sort of weight loss. I think the thing is there was a movie called Super Size Me. I actually enjoyed it very much because watching somebody eat that much McDonald's really, it felt good for me because I'm a big fan of McDonald's. But this movie, this is the premise. This man, his name's Morgan Spurlock. He's a documentarist or documentary maker, whatever you call people who do documentaries.
Documentarian.
That's the one. And he challenged himself to eat at McDonald's every single day for at least, I think it's all meals actually, for 30 days. And anytime they said, do you want to supersize that? He had to say yes. Now, obviously, if you eat fast food, particularly McDonald's, and not their lighter options, every day, multiple times a day, you're going to gain weight. It's estimated that he was eating 5,000 calories a day. If you eat 5,000 calories a day and your maintenance level of calories is 2,500, you're going to gain weight. And honestly, it doesn't matter what you're eating. Now, there are some things that can affect that minutely, hormones and pills that you're on, medications, all that stuff, stress levels. There's a bunch of things that could change that, but not to a drastic extent like people think. I think that we're all looking for, whether it's the shortcut or we're hoping that there's this flashy new thing. Weight Watchers used to be called Weight Watchers. Now it's called WW. There's a reason, because it's the same thing. It's not a reformulation. It's not a supplement. All it is helping you keep track of calories. Now, I know for a lot of people, this is kind of a tough one. And again, I'm not a doctor or any of that. And there are people out there who struggle with eating disorders, so I'm not going to speak to that. But if you're out there and you've tried tracking calories and you just had a negative result and you didn't want to do it, I'm speaking more to that than anything else. You have to think of it this way. When Alan and I get on a plane and we fly somewhere, we're going to be speaking. Before you get on the plane, they track everything that goes onto that plane. Everything. Every piece of luggage, every person, everything. Everything goes through something to figure out what's going on that plane. Not just for safety reasons, but for weight reasons. If you're flying to Florida, there's a different amount of weight in terms of fuel on the plane than if you're going to California. They weigh that out because all of that is reverse engineered to get you there safely. Everything is measured. Everything is measured. So you have to measure the amount of calories you're taking in. And Alan and I know oftentimes have probably come off as very confident in terms of the ability to replicate a fitness result. But this is the reason. I know how many calories I can eat and lose weight versus I know how many calories I can eat to gain weight. Right now, I'm eating 2,000 calories a day and I'm losing weight because my maintenance is around 25 or 2,600 calories. But this is the thing. The only way to figure that out is to experiment. The only way to figure that out is to make mistakes. The only way to figure that out is to start by tracking something. And again, it can be a pain in the butt, but it's worth it if it's going to help you get the fitness result that you want. I want you to have insane levels of self-love. I want you to feel worthy. I want you to feel all of those things. But I also want you to accomplish whatever your fitness result is. Having a fitness result does not mean that you don't love yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't love your body. It means that you're ambitious for a different result. I'm not going to say a greater result, but a different result for different progress. So yeah, number one, it's kind of one that you can't talk about fitness and health without. It's tracking calories in some way, shape, or form. You have to make sure that you understand what is going into your body, because for most people, and I'll give you a part two, but for most people, they don't know what they're eating. And if you don't know what you're eating, you're probably going to struggle to get any result with your weight. Part two with this, make sure you're tracking correctly. And if you don't understand how to track calories, there's a bunch of resources online. There's a bunch of different apps. But I think I saw somewhere that there was a study that people, it was between 20 and 40% they over-tracked their calories, under-tracked. So they were tracking their calories. They weren't getting results. It's not because the calories were wrong. It's because they were tracking wrong. So that's another important thing too. Again, there's layers to fitness. There's layers to weight loss. There's layers to weight training. There's layers to all that. This is the first layer. It's very basic, and you can level that up as you learn. But this is the first behavior. This is the first habit that you really, really should practice, because it's something that's going to pay you dividends in the long run. And imagine this. Imagine having the confidence to say, you know what? Last time I did this, I ate 2,000 calories and I lost weight. Let me try to eat 2,100 this time and see what happens. Let me try to eat 2,200. It's an experiment. And when you know that you can get the result you want, you'll have confidence around that. And that's what I want everybody to have.
So it was several years ago, and I was in the gym with one of my main mentors back then, and this mentor was helping me in business and entrepreneurship and was a super successful CEO of many tech companies. And I was a fitness model, fitness coach, and fitness competitor. And so I was helping him in fitness, he was helping me in business, and it was this wonderful relationship. And I remember we were in the gym one time, this was Crunch in Worcester, and he said, you know, Alan, it's interesting, I feel really good at the bank, and you feel really good at the beach. And I knew why that was. To Kevin's point, he tracks his finances every single day. He has an investment portfolio that he looks at every single day. I'll never forget, the same mentor reaches out to me, texts me. says, I'm not losing weight. I don't understand why. My belt is not getting looser. It's actually getting tighter. I don't understand. And I said, okay, take me through what you're eating. Found out that he was eating out often. All good. Check, check, check. And then he's like, red wine. I'm doing a couple glasses of red wine per night. And he's like, but don't worry about that. Red wine doesn't have a lot of calories. I went to wolframalpha.com. You can Google this too. You could do it right now. I said, what kind of red wine? I looked it up. I sent a screenshot. 9 ounces of red wine is 212 calories. I sent him the screenshot. I said, who told you that red wine does not have a lot of calories? And by the way, those are empty calories, not useful calories. And so every single 9 ounces of red wine that you have, it adds up. You cannot make good decisions based on inaccurate data. Whoever said red wine doesn't have a lot of calories, this person has been making decisions of what to drink based on a false understanding. And to Kevin's point, one more story as well. I'll never forget this. I was fitness modeling at the time, and I was doing a photo shoot in a couple weeks. And so I was very much, I was very lean at the time, very lean. And I was at my girlfriend at the time's grandfather's 90th birthday. And we're at this restaurant, and we're all dressed really nice. It's this really nice restaurant. Alicante was the restaurant, Kev.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice restaurant. And they had those Lindt chocolates, those little blue dark chocolate Lindt chocolates, and I was hammering them, man. I was putting them down.
Was this the
Pop
fitness
one,
show?
pop two.
Fitness show you lost?
No. This is a photo shoot.
Oh.
Photo shoot.
Sorry.
Hey, this photo shoot I probably lost too, though. Let's be honest. But anyways, so I'm putting these down, right, and I hammer like 5 of them, and I'm kind of just eating them as we talk and stuff. And someone at the table, they don't understand, right, because they look at me weird, because I was in really good shape at the time, but I'm hammering chocolates. And they said, Alan, I don't understand. Like, you do realize that those chocolates have like 200 calories a piece. And I was like, no, they don't. I was trying to be kind, but I also kind of wanted to like raise their awareness. Like, no, they don't. They're like, yeah, those are like 200 calories a piece, aren't they? And I said, no, they're probably around like 75, maybe 80 calories. Someone at the table actually looked it up, and it was 77.5 calories or something like that for those little round Lindt chocolate balls. And anyone could look that up right now, by the way. And the point that I want to make with this story is when you see someone who's in really good shape, they didn't just like end up that way. That wasn't just like automatic. They weren't just gifted. The point that I wanted to make to them was, I'm in this shape because I'm aware that these have 80 calories. So 5 times 80, that's the amount of calories I've eaten thus far, and I'm going to track later my meal. So the point is that the reason I look this way as a fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach is because it's all dialed in. Again, this is dialing in your fitness habits. Kevin and I are heart-driven, but no BS. The title of this is dialing in your fitness habits, dialing in the lock. If you want to open your phone and there's a certain combination, everything's like that. You have to dial in your fitness habits if you want to unlock the door of opportunity to the dream physique that you want. You're not going to stumble upon your dream physique. Bodies inherently, just like houses, they get worse over time. Some people age really, really well because they're doing things differently. They're thinking differently. They're probably tracking calories, and they're probably working out consistently. And yes, there are some people who are naturally more athletic, but that's not really what we're talking about here. So my next point is this. So we started recently an NLUGymPicChallenge. So if you want to join us on this, we really, really encourage you to. I want to do this for a very long time, honestly. I don't know how long, but for a long time. It means once a day, anyone who's in the NLU community, when you do exercise once a day, either on a run, steady state cardio, going to the gym, at-home workout, yoga, you name it, whatever your exercise routine is, all you do is you take a selfie that proves that you worked out, be honest with yourself and with us, and then you tag myself, you tag Kevin, and you tag Amy, who's behind the scenes, and it's the hashtag NLU, all caps, GymPicChallenge. And we've got a bunch of people doing it right now. It's awesome. And the reason why we're doing this isn't because we love to take selfies in the gym. It's because we understand that public accountability is one of the most powerful tools in the world. So if you were to go out into wherever you live and go up to some random person on the street and say, hey, do you track your fitness habits? They would say, no, most likely. Is it possible that they do? Yes, but it's most likely no. But if you asked every single person on the NLU team, there's not a single person out of the 15-person team who doesn't track their habits. It's not coincidence. It's part of the culture, and we all hold each other accountable. That's what we're trying to do in this community. If you're a part of the next level community, you want to be next level, you believe in human potential, you believe in this community, you believe in daily habits, you believe in tracking. And that's why all of us are going to be more successful together than we would be apart. And we're trying to replicate that. So my first point here, dialing in your fitness habits, dialing in the lock to your dream physique, get accountability. If you don't have accountability, you're in trouble, right? The person who signs up for a marathon 3 months from now with a friend and then tells all their friends and family, hey, please come support me, and everyone locks that date on their calendar, and you tell all the people you love and care about, that person is always going to be more consistent than the person who just wants to run by themselves for fun. And that's just the truth of how human beings are wired. We're social creatures. So it's time to leverage that to our advantage.
To add to Alan's point, what happens with a lot of people when they pick up a new habit is they go all in, and almost too all in. We've seen that many times, whether it's team members or clients, where there'll be this burn down of, I'm doing way too many things, I need some time for me. And it's like, cool, do your thing, no worries. And when it seems like it's time to get back after it, this person will almost take on too many things again right off the bat. It's almost like, well, I know I burned down with this last time, but I'm ready now. Honestly, I can probably even take 1 or 2 more things and put them on my plate. And the problem is that's not sustainable. You have to create a foundation first. So I remember, Alan, back in the day when I was pumping gas at the gas station, shout out to Helen's. They used to steal my money. I used to do jujitsu. So I would work 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. I would go to the gym, Blackstone Valley Massage and Fitness. That was right down the street. I would go there for like an hour and a half. I would go home and I would eat dinner. Shout out to Memes who would cook dinner. And then I would drive a half hour to 40 minutes, depending on traffic, to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This is the problem. That exercise routine, while I, at the time, was in the best shape of my life, I was very lean, I was very strong, I was very athletic, I was very flexible because I was doing many different things. For those of you who don't know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a grappling submission sport. You'll see it when you watch UFC, when they're on the ground choking each other. That's what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is. And the problem is this just wasn't super sustainable because there was so many things that had to go right. If I got stuck at work, I might miss the gym and I might get home late and I might miss my workout in Worcester doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because where I lived, it was 40 minutes away from there, right? It was like 40-minute drive. That's very hard to do. It's not super sustainable. So this is the thing. You have to eliminate as many barriers in the beginning. So maybe you work a weird shift. I know that when I was working second shift, it was very important to me that my gym was open early in the morning, right? Some gyms don't open till 8. Some gyms close at 5. If you have a weird schedule, you got to find a gym that's 24 hours. Or find something else that you like. Maybe it's not going to the gym. Maybe you want to get a Peloton. Those are awesome. They have a bunch of new things that you can install at home. Maybe you want to get a treadmill at home, whatever it may be. You have to find something that's sustainable. This is very appropriate because I don't know who posted in Next Level Nation today. I'm not sure who it was, but they said something, I think, about fitness. And I said the best fitness plan, the best diet plan, the best podcast plan, speaking, whatever, business plan, the best plan in the world is the one that's sustainable. I could write you up a diet program and do all these things and all this happy jazz, but if it doesn't resonate with who you are as a human being, it's not going to work. It has to be sustainable. So make sure you dip your toes in first and you try something, see how it goes, and then go from there. You're not going to get all your results in a week anyway. This is a long game. This is a consistency game, just like everything else we talk about. So you really, really have to figure out, okay, what is sustainable for me right now? And if it's not sustainable, we have to find something that is. It's not a crash course. It's not a fad thing. It will not happen overnight. We have to put some time into this, and we have to make sure that it's sustainable for you. Next Level Nation, I know many of you out there probably don't feel super supported. You probably feel alone, and you don't feel like you're going to be successful. And what's worse is, even if you do find success, you're probably going to be celebrating by yourself. What if you're just in the wrong rooms? I remember the first live event I went to. For the first time in my life, I finally felt like I fit in. I felt like I was valued for the person that I wanted to be, and big dreams were not only okay, but they were par for the course. That live event changed my life more than anything. And I was so afraid to go, but Alan convinced me to go. And since I had somebody to go with, it was much, much easier. Next Level Live is March 26th in Worcester, Mass. If you're scared to come alone, bring a friend. We're giving away 5 free tickets, but we're only giving them away to our local listeners. We want to meet each and every one of you. Make sure you get a free ticket while you can, because when they're gone, they're gone.
It is first come, first serve. Click the link in the show notes. It'll take you to the landing page. Put quantity 2, grab a friend, and put promo code local listener. It will make checkout $0. Get your ticket as soon as possible. Again, first come, first serve, and local listener you can copy and paste from the show notes.
We'll see you there.
I was reading a book this weekend while I was doing dishes. On Sunday, we do all house optimization stuff, dishes, laundry, all that. I was reading a book called Switch. It's a behavioral analyst book that talks about how to change your behavior. And they were talking about a study they did, I believe it was at Harvard or Stanford, don't quote me on this, I'm not 100% certain, where I remember the number, it was over 1,200 people that they studied, and they found out that the percent chance of someone becoming overweight increases by over a third, over 33% chance, increases by that much if your friend became overweight. And we have a global team. One of the members of our team, shout out to Alessandro, he's from Italy, and he said, Alan, quite frankly, over here in Italy, we don't have a lot of obese people. Like, I've been to America, like, you guys are much more overweight. It's cultural. So that's really the point I want to make here, is that when I started fitness coaching, I used to do this thing called the 3 columns, and it was really simple. And it was basically, I want you to write down the 10 people who have your heart. Because in this study, by the way, in Switch, they talked about how it didn't have to be geographical. You could have friends and family members that you didn't even live near that got overweight, and it would still be that increase in chances of becoming overweight. And so our habits are very determined by our reference group, is what this is called. So Kevin is in my reference group. Emilia is in my reference group. So the people closest to you, the people who you think about most often, the people who you feel the most for, the people who you love most dearly and deeply, their actions are affecting you more than you realize. And I can prove this with data because I have all the data from all my clients back when I was doing fitness coaching. I had them write out the first column, 10 people who have their heart. Okay, mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, intimate partner, you name it, all the way down the list. And then I had 2 more columns. The next column was, I want you to rate them from 0 to 10 on the dedication that they are, the dedication they have to their fitness goals. You hired me as your fitness coach. My job is to get you in the best shape of your life, and I'm going to do that. From 0 to 10, how committed, how dedicated are those people from 0 to 10, be honest, to their fitness goals? And then third column, I want you to, again, be honest with yourself. 0 to 10, rate their physique, rate their athleticism, rate how in shape they are. And then average it out. And 2 things that were really, really big breakthroughs. The first one was that never once did someone's average of the physique be higher than the dedication. And the lesson there is simple. If your dedication is at a level 7, your physique will only be at a level 6. If your dedication is at a level 4, your physique will only ever be at a level 3. And by the way, this goes for more than just fitness. That's in everything. If your dedication to your intimate relationship is level 4, you're only ever going to achieve a level 3 intimate relationship. If your dedication's at 10, you'll get closer and closer and closer to 10, but you never really get there because 10 is the ceiling and there's always better. So the second lesson in these numbers is the average always came out to the physique of the individual. Always. Very, very close. The percent error was like 10%. And I've done this countless times. So if all of your 10 reference group, if all of them average out to a level 5 physique, fitness level, most likely you're at a 5. Same with health, same with wealth, same with love, same with every category. Same with fulfillment, same with joy, same with tracking your habits, same with tracking your calories. I remember this, I'll tell this story as well. When I was in high school and I was in college, when I was in high school, we would host big parties at our place. And yes, there was drinking and stuff like that. When I went to college, I still only went to college 35 minutes north of where I lived. And I would throw these parties and I'd bring my college friends to meet my high school friends, and we'd all have these parties at home during break. Spring break, winter break, all that. And then fast forward, I'm 27 or 28 years old. And I was celebrating achieving a fitness show. I won my second show. So I've done 3 shows. I lost the first, won the second, lost the third. And afterwards, I would celebrate with having all my friends and family over. There was this one bonfire that I had. Kev, I don't know if you ended up coming to this one, but one of my college roommates said it is unbelievable how different the people are at these parties. He's like, there was a bunch of bodybuilders there. There was a bunch of fitness fanatics there. Almost no one was drinking. And I said, Sean, I'm different. The law of attraction has changed because people who aren't into fitness aren't really as close to me as they once were. Your relationships in your life are predicated on core aspirations and core values in common. If fitness is a core value and a core aspiration and a deep fundamental core belief, you're not going to get along as well with people who don't have that. Emilia and I go to the gym together constantly. She's doing the #NLUGymPicChallenge. The point is that your relationships are built on commonality. And so if your reference group isn't into fitness and you want to break out and have this amazing, incredible fitness life, you're going to have to change your associations. Again, heart-driven, but no BS. You know, all my friends at that time were extremely in shape. I was actually the floor, not the ceiling. And back in high school and in college, that was not the case. And so it's just important to understand the influences that these people have over you. And if you were to do that exercise and rate your associations from 0 to 10 on the dedication they have to their fitness goals, what would it come out to?
I remember, Alan, a few years ago when I got the first NLPS client, Next Level Podcast Solutions client. This gentleman was local, and I said, as part of the package, I'll come set up all your equipment. I'll come set up your mixer. I'll set up your lights. I'll set up everything you need, your microphones, everything. I'll set it all up for you. And he was like, all right, cool, awesome, come on out. And I met this person, awesome. And when I got there, so for those of you who don't know what a mixer is, it's what we plug our mics into, and then that runs to your laptop, and you can connect headphones to it. It allows you to use a bunch of different microphones. So just think of it that way. It's just a piece of technology that musicians, podcasters, anybody in the sound industry, they'll use, okay? I go to this gentleman's house, and I said, yeah, I only need probably an hour. It should take me about an hour to set everything up. I'll get you all wired up. We'll be good to go. And I plugged in his mixer. I plugged in his microphone. I took his Mac. I set it up, and I said, all right, I'm just going to do some test recordings, see what's going on here, see how the acoustics are. We'll be good. And I recorded something, and I played it back, and it sounded horrible. It was terrible. There was an echo, and the static was so bad. And I said, okay, sometimes what happens is if you plug it into a certain outlet, it's not grounded right. Let me plug it into another one. Plugged it into another one. Still jeffed. No idea what was going on. I tried every outlet in the room, it kept jeffing. I tried changing things in the mixer, didn't work. So I said, all right, I'm going to have to come back. I don't know what's going on here. I went on Amazon, and I ordered what is now in my office I think it's like a $75 power strip that's supposed to be made for stuff like this. My mixer's actually plugged into it, so if I sound good, that's great. But I took it to his house, I set it up, didn't change anything. I went home, I reviewed the message boards about the mixer that he had, and I ended up finding something. I said, that's what it is. Okay, cool. Next time I went there, I hit a button on the mixer, adjusted some things, boom, perfect audio quality. Fast forward a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it was over the summer where I went to our wonderful client and good friend, Dr. Taryn McCarthy. I went to her house where we're holding our retreat at the end of, or what is it, September, August?
Labor Day week.
Labor Day, whenever Labor Day is. And I went to her house and she had the same mixer. When I got there, I knew exactly what to do. I knew exactly what not to do. And what should have taken an hour only took me 15 minutes to set up. Why? Because I diagnosed what went wrong last time. So if you have tried to level up your fitness in the past, whether that's diet, exercise, accountability, whatever it may be, and it didn't go your way, do you actually know what went wrong? Or did you just quit and say, oh, this doesn't work, this isn't for me? You have to diagnose what went wrong last time so you can avoid that in the future, and you can go into the second time with a higher level of awareness. Okay, this didn't work. Why? Well, I was focused on this, and it was such a far drive to the gym, and I was working this shift, and I was going through stuff here, and I was dealing with a knee injury. Okay, cool. What can we try differently this time? I think what happens, and I know I'm guilty of this in the past for sure, something doesn't go your way, and it's heavy. It's heavy when you put a lot of time, energy, effort, money into something and you don't get the result you want. And I think oftentimes we sell ourselves short by just saying, nope, not for me. Oh, nope, doesn't work. Rather than saying, okay, what actually went wrong here? What actually went wrong? Alan knows I am obsessed. When something technically goes wrong, I obsess over it. When my Wi-Fi was jeffing, which it still does, even though I pay $200 a month for internet, I called the internet provider. I got things changed. I ordered a new cable. I ordered everything. Anytime something gets broken in terms of our tech, I'm always trying to figure out why. I diagnose what went wrong and how to avoid it in the future. And that's like that with anything, especially your fitness, especially your relationships, especially your finances. If something went wrong, why and how do we avoid it in the future? This is a great time for you to practice that.
So when Kevin and I were in Florida, we went on a trip to an event, and it was Emilia, Bianca, Kevin, and myself, and we fly to Florida, and it's awesome at first. And then the event ended up not being as aligned as we'd hoped, and there were some core beliefs and core values in conflict there. Again, not what the story's about. So instead, we decided to mastermind on the beach. We're in Florida. Let's do this thing. So we go on the beach. We go for a walk. Kevin and I've got the proof here. So Kevin and I have been very focused on business. Again, he used to be a fitness competitor. I used to be a fitness competitor, fitness coach, fitness model, all that. And we've been very much focused on business. Lots and lots of podcasting, lots of coaching, lots of business. Not as much fitness. And we thought we were doing well. But you have to seek feedback along the way if you want to stay on track. So this photo right here is us at the beach, and it's the first time we went to the beach for quite some time. And I know it's blurry, but you can see that
it's not blurry anymore, unfortunately.
It is, let's just say this, it is below our standards.
Yeah.
It's way below our standards. And so Kevin and I remember walking on the beach like it was yesterday. Kevin and I are like diagnosing why we've let it go. Why have we let ourselves go so much? What is happening here? I don't understand. And we're like, well, the business, and we're leading a team, and we're doing 7 episodes a week, and of course, right? And that's all true. And there's a difference between a valid understanding and an excuse. We weren't trying to excuse our poor performance away. Now, I want to preface this real quick. I understand that photo isn't terrible, okay? I'm not trying to shame myself. I'm not trying to shame Kevin. I don't think that we're completely out of shape and we've completely let it go. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. Kevin and I are in worse shape now than we used to be, and we're at Next Level University. This podcast, this mission, and our lives are based around a fundamental belief that you can get 1% better per day in health, wealth, and love. And yes, physical health and fitness is one of those categories. It's not like Kevin and I don't know how. It's not like Kevin and I can't be in better shape. We know how, we just haven't been putting in the work. And yes, we have higher standards than that photo. Okay, so remember, all of this is contextual. So we're walking on the beach and we're talking about it. And we're like, okay, we got to figure this thing out. From that moment on, when I got home, I started doing something called the uncomfortable truth mirror. So in our condo, in our bedroom, there's a full mirror. It's Emilia's mirror, and it shows everything. And we have a skylight above our bed. And in the morning, once a day, before I get dressed for work, because my first front-facing thing is at 10 a.m., I usually change out of comfies and into some nice business shirts or business casual attire. And during that transition, I make sure that I stand in front of that mirror and I take a look. The lesson here is that you can get all the feedback at once, and it can be traumatic, like a photo like that, or you can take the feedback as you go. I want the feedback every day. I want to step on the scale. I want to look in the mirror. I want the uncomfortable feedback. I was in Colorado once, and one of our dear friends, her name's Lauren, she came up to me and she said she's going to write a book on your relationship to discomfort. And I was talking to her about this. She said, see, Alan, it's someone's relationship to discomfort that matters. This person worked with the Yankees, and she's like a peak performance psychologist, and she has a master's degree in that and all this. And she said, someone's relationship to discomfort matters more than anyone understands, and you can feel the passion in her. She said, Alan, see, I can see by looking at you that you have a very positive relationship with discomfort. What she's really saying is that I'm not hiding from feedback. I want feedback. I want to get better. Now, all of us hide from feedback naturally. You kind of have to override that. And so that's what this mirror is. That's why we do the daily NLUGymPicChallenge. I don't want to end up 10 years down the road and wonder, how did I let myself go? I don't want to get 10 years down the road and wonder why we didn't succeed. I want the feedback. Kevin and I looked at our listens today from all the way from 2017 all the way to 2022 and our projections, and we noticed that during the rebrand from Hyperconscious to NLU, there was a significant drop, and we definitely lost more momentum than we thought. Rather than hiding from that, we're going to learn from it. Fitness is no different. Seek feedback along the way so that your future will be brighter. I don't want anyone to get 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road and then wonder how they let it go instead of looking in the mirror today. So whether it's the mirror or the scale or just going to the gym and checking in on how much weight you're lifting or whether or not you're improving in your performance, seek the feedback along the way. Have a positive relationship with discomfort. And I promise you, again, Kevin and I have the benefit of being on these cameras often, so there's not a lot of time in between the feedback. We've all had, this will be a really quick story. Sorry, Kev. We've all had that moment where someone posted a picture of us on Facebook at a party that was so unflattering. There was this one party I was at, this was many years ago when I was drinking too much and too often, and one of my friends posted a photo, and I'm telling you, I vehemently texted her saying, please take that down. It was such an embarrassing photo. As a matter of fact, at some point, I'm probably going to share it because I was drunk, I was shirtless, I didn't look good, and it was so embarrassing. And it was so much feedback of how much I had let my life go off the rails. Don't let that happen. Look at the photos along the way and make the adjustments along the way, and I promise you, your future will be brighter.
All right, last two, because we have 2 minutes. I gotta hammer you. How fast did that 40 minutes go by?
My God.
Yeah, I don't know if something is my timer off. All right, two things. One, what's a good example? Okay, if you come to me as a podcast client, I say, hey, how many listens do you have on your podcast? And you tell me, I have no idea. I've never tracked my podcast listens, to Alan's point. You're probably not succeeding very highly at your podcast. Not only and some people say, well, I don't want to obsess over listens. I totally understand that. But there's a fine line between obsessing over it and using it to empower future choices. Alan and I, there's a reason we have certain names that we use on certain episodes because they do better. And we know that because we track our listens. So I'm equating that to tracking your weight. You have to understand where you are and the way you're trending and seeing how your decisions affect that. That's first point. Second point, most people after New Year's don't succeed with their resolutions because they don't have a big enough reason. So if the reason is, well, I needed to make a New Year's resolution and I made this one last year and it didn't stick, guess what? Odds are this one is probably not going to stick either. Create a prize, create a competition, create an accomplishment, find a community. You need to find true necessity to help you accomplish your goals. Before this, I asked my lovely fiance, Taryn, I said, what is your biggest fitness struggle? And she said, honestly, I don't enjoy working out that much. I don't enjoy going to the gym. And I said, does it help that you and I go together? And she said, it's a game changer. It's amazing. I love working out with you. We'll flirt a little in between sets. I'll wave to her. She'll give me a kiss on the way by. We do cardio together when we get there. And she said, you're like the ultimate accountability partner because you push me to go and you're always going. So it makes things helpful. So that's part of it too. Find a way to enjoy it more. I love my workouts with Taryn. I push myself harder. There's that protective side of me that comes out. And I know she enjoys it too because there's that built-in accountability. So those two, I hammered quick. Alan, you have 15 seconds. Let's see what you can get out.
Plus, going to the gym with your love is great for the intimacy side too.
It is.
Big W. Okay, very last point here is you have to track to stay on track. There's a reason why when you're running around a track, there's the lines. You know how to stay in them. I know that feels cagey to people. It's your own track. You're painting these lines. It's not like someone else is coming and saying you have to do this. You get to do this. And so, really quick story. I was on the phone with a fitness client early on, and I asked her, hey, how's it going? I always check in on my clients weekly, back then weekly, bi-weekly now. How's fitness going? She's like, oh, crushing it. Awesome. Doing so well, so pumped. I said, okay, well, based on your data that I crunch, I do a report before every call, you have gone to the gym 52.3% of the time. And she's like, oh, wow. I said, okay, so there's a difference between the story you've told yourself. So you've told yourself that you're crushing it in fitness. And by the way, this person's fitness standards are way higher than half the time. Going to the gym every other day is not normal for this person. And so you can tell yourself a story, but numbers never lie. That's why these measurements are so important. Okay? Yes, there are daily fluctuations on the scale. Yes, there are daily fluctuations in listens and bank account. Yes, there are daily fluctuations, but the trend line is either up or down. And by trend line, it's a mathematical term. Everybody's peak performance tracker, everybody's scale is always like this, up and down on the day-to-day, but week to week, there's a trend. Month to month, there's a trend. The key is the trend going in the right direction at the right rate? And that's all I've got. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Woo!
Hashtag NLUGymPicChallenge is a train that's a-rolling, and it's going to keep rolling. Tag myself, Kevin, and Amy, and we will reshare it. I will definitely reshare it. I'm going to reshare anyone who tags me in their hashtag NLUGymPicChallenge. This is a community endeavor. We're doing this thing. You don't have to do a 3-hour workout. If you show up for yourself for 20 minutes on a steady state walking cardio, take a picture. It's showing up for yourself that matters. Hashtag NLUGymPicChallenge.